The next item to be considered is Fair Trade Town.
Prior to 2000, I didn't know anything about fair trade. I came involved with this because my daughter is adopted from Guatemala. And when we were there in 1999, we toured some coffee farms and were appalled by the fact that people were paid 60 cents a pound for approximately 3,500 beans that are in a pound of coffee. And I would happily be here today not knowing that these people were being exploited when I was spending $15 a pound for specialty grade coffee. So people in Vancouver understand fair trade. They get it. They understand that, fairness isn't an option, and that when we purchase, we vote with our wallets, and that when we buy things, we are in fact either endorsing or changing the world. So choosing fair trade is a great way for people to vote and do the right thing. It's the same reason why we bike. It's fun, but it's also doing the right thing. We are happy to be here. We are a driving force in Canada. Vancouver and the businesses that operate here are sort of the bellwether of change. We wouldn't be able to grow at the rate we're growing if people didn't buy our products. Retailers embrace us partly because it's the right thing to do and partly because they make money off of it. And quite frankly, sometimes I care and sometimes I don't. As long as it's fair trade and the market grows, it's better for everybody. To keep moving forward with what Vancouver wants to be as a green city, we can, do things like joining the select group of fair trade towns in the world. We can, re-energize the ethical purchasing policy, within the city of Vancouver and other entities. We could build on the success of the Olympics and send a message to, the citizens of this great city and say, yeah, council and the city of Vancouver cares about how people are treated in the world.
My name is Jeff Geipel, and I'm the executive director of Fair Trade Vancouver, the non-profit group that prepared our application for Fair Trade Town status. When a couple of friends and I first started Fair Trade Vancouver just about a year ago, we never thought we'd be standing here, at least so quickly. Over the year, it's often felt like we've been riding a wave of tremendous energy as more and more talented and passionate people have jumped on board to help us promote fair trade in the city. Along the way, we discovered all the amazing groundwork that has already been done in Vancouver when it comes to promoting fair trade by companies like 10,000 Villages and Ethical Bean, and by non-profits like Oxfam and Engineers Without Borders. We discovered that the city had a progressive and ethical purchasing policy in place since 2005, and that consumer demand has already resulted in widespread availability of fair trade products in Vancouver. The city of Vancouver and its citizens have shown great leadership on ethical purchasing, and that is why we are here today. Our role with respect to the Fair Trade Town application became one of tying the pieces together, documenting past achievements, and working to build further momentum. Today, we have the opportunity to celebrate our past accomplishments and take a big step forward with respect to the broad public awareness of fair trade. As for myself, I have spent a great deal of time in the countries that the fair trade system is focused on helping, and I have seen the need for producers to be paid a fair price for their products. I have also seen the sense of empowerment that consumers in Vancouver feel when they become aware of the significant influence they can have on global poverty and environmental issues on a daily basis. More and more people are realizing the effect they have simply by making choices regarding what coffee, chocolate, bananas, and other products they purchase at their local cafes and grocery stores. We are happy that the city is considering this motion today. Its passage will help inspire thousands of people to not only choose fair trade products, but also to think more about where their products come from and how they can make a difference through their purchases. This represents the empowerment of people both here in Vancouver and also overseas among the millions of people who are helped when we make the right decisions with the dollars. Thank you.
I've had the great honor of working directly in fair trade for the past 15 years, primarily with 10,000 Villages. Every few years and to different configurations of council, I've been asked to lend my support for initiatives to do with fair trade and ethical purchasing. And while sometimes it feels like one step forward and two steps backwards, I'm always happy to take those steps for the same reasons that I look forward to going to work. Because I know that every fair trade lamp, scarf, paperweight, every fair trade pound of coffee and bottle of olive oil I sell, and every artisan story I tell is making a real difference in the lives of marginalized artists and farmers around the world. It gives me great pleasure to recount the growth I have seen in awareness and support for fair trade over these past 15 years, And yes, while there is much more to be done, the people of Vancouver have shown they are ready to put their money where their consciences are. Voting to become a fair trade town will signal to the world that our commitment to the Olympic legacy lives on, that we believe trade should have a conscience, and that greater justice in world trade is indeed possible. Fair trade is not a charity, it is an act of solidarity. It is not a hands up or a handout. It is a hand clasped in friendship, a pact that seals the deal between two equals. I think it is telling that when 10,000 villages asked how we could best support the artisan groups rebuilding their lives after the Indonesian tsunami, the earthquake in Pakistan, the volcanic eruption in the Philippines, the flooding in Bangladesh, the earthquake in Haiti, the myriad of the so-called natural disasters devastating those who live on the margins of society, we were told by each group, place more orders, sell more of our product. And that is what motivates me to speak to you here today and to urge you a few days before World Fair Trade Day to make Vancouver a fair trade town.
Good morning, Mr. Chairperson, Mayor and Council. My name is Harish Raisinghani. I'm the president of the Vancouver chapter of Engineers Without Borders. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of my organization, which has nearly 50,000 members across the country and represents a movement of professional engineers, students, overseas volunteers, and supporters. We believe that fair trade brings us one step closer to an equitable and sustainable world, and I can say the organization's eyes and ears are in Vancouver today and on this motion. EWB is about providing opportunities so that those in the global south can lead lives with dignity. Our bottom line is that we put people we work with overseas, our primary stakeholders, our clients, first. Fair trade supports the efforts of our clients by allowing consumers to reflect on where their products come from and ask if, for example, a Ghanaian cocoa farmer has been compensated fairly for their labor. Our overseas volunteers know firsthand the impact of fair trade on local farmers. We have Carissa Vedos, for example, in the back here with us, who spent 4 months last summer in Ghana and visited the farmers of a cocoa cooperative. To those farmers, fair trade means a decrease in vulnerability, an increase in choice, and an opportunity to have lasting and meaningful improvements to their livelihoods. And this is what the city is promoting with the passage of this motion. EWB is one of the leading drivers of fair trade across the country, but what we've seen here in Vancouver is something pretty unique, with greater consumer awareness and demand for fair trade products, leading to a vibrant fair trade movement, and the display of leadership of the City of Vancouver with its ethical purchasing policy. We're honored to be standing here in solidarity with the likes of 10,000 Villages, Ethical Bean, and Discovery Organics, to name a few stalwart fair trade supporters. And we applaud the initiative and enthusiasm of Fair Trade Vancouver to serve as the core of the local movement and piece together the Fair Trade Town application. The energy and dedication shown to this cause is something we're proud to be a part of. Passage of this motion is a great step in the right direction to help bridge the divide between local consumers and global producers. We know that our members will be inspired by the steps taken by the city and hope to replicate this initiative across the country. And this will truly lead us to have an impact on the lives of millions of people around the world and subsequently empower our community with more ethical purchasing initiatives. I thank you.
I'll take this opportunity just to say a few words in support of this motion. Obviously, it's the motivator of the motion. I think this is an important piece, a further step of this council to reestablish itself as a leader in our country in regards to ethical and sustainable purchasing. We talk a lot about our initiatives and sustainability and the greenest city in the world, and this is a component of that. This is part of why Vancouver, I think, when we welcomed the world during the Olympics, was held in such high regard, that we have high standards, and it's not just high standards for ourselves, but high standards, I think, for the rest of the world as well. And this is part of our leadership, and I'm very pleased again to be part of this leadership role of this Vancouver City Council as we try to build the necessary support here in the city, here in our region, and around our world to make this happen so that eventually everyone will be purchasing sustainably and ethically, and we'll all be better off in the end. Thank you very much. So all in favor of the motion? Opposed? It's carried unanimously. Thank you.